most of you have probably seen by now my video about We've Got Something to Discuss. So this is a little bit of a follow-up per se to that. And basically what I've been trying to figure out is like, what are the next steps? So in this new era of like building in public and sharing everything that you do, and I'm trying to do it in a way that still protects what I'm trying to build, but then also gives you guys some information that you could potentially apply in your own situations. So for me, I built a business from scratch to, we did, well, several $1 million over the course of a few years. And then we sort of ended up in this weird season where things were changing. And so we decided to kind of draw some of the stuff, particularly clients, to a close. Some of it was not wanted. Others we were kind of forced because the economics just weren't there anymore. And the hardest part with all of that was like you were working with some people you came to really love and get to do work alongside of, and everybody kind of sours those relationships when you go through those moments of difficulty trying to figure contracts out. And frankly, when money is involved, people just get ticked off very, very easily. And so unfortunately for some of those things, that's kind of how we ended it. And it was really one of those moments where I wish people didn't act a certain way. And frankly, I wish, we had just done a better job at not putting ourselves in that situation to begin with. So now I'm here and I'm working on what is the next phase. And if you know a little bit about this brand, there's actually 3 brands going on. There's my own personal brand. It's kind of taken the moniker of Official Josh Brown. I hate the word official, but years ago I got rid of Josh Brown for some reason and lost it on all my channels. So except for one. And but then the other thing is Soulfire, and that's what most of you are watching this from. You know me through Soulfire, the newsletter, some of the things we've tried doing with like coaching men. And the concept of Soulfire is helping purpose-driven men to live their faith, lead their families, and build their business. And then there's this third tier, which is Soulheart. And Soulheart has always existed to basically help brands grow, like go further faster was our moniker for several years. We used to just have it core of like to make a positive impact on the world. That was our goal. Still is the goal. And we would do that through the brands that we served and we worked with. And then it began to be where the economics weren't there for a traditional marketing agency. Now, some players can still operate this way because they've got the right kind of people. We were working with the smaller nonprofits in the world and doing a lot of work in that space, and then some other like small businesses and startups and whatnot. And we had a lot of fun with that. Don't like the years that went through, the people that came through our company, seeing them grow up in the company, launch out in the company. We have people on our team have babies and get married and just grow, and it was fun. It was exciting. But this next phase is like, well, what do I do with that brand? Because I can't have 3 brands going on, or can I? And then it kind of dawned on me of like, what if the brand itself is not me just doing retainer work all the time for these clients? Because number one, it does pay really well, but it's just hard to deliver these days. People want more and more and more, and they want to pay less, less, and less. And you're competing against a lot of overseas offshore talent. You're competing more so, I would think, with leaders that don't understand numbers. They don't understand how to read the data. They only understand what they feel. And what they feel is backed from like years of muscle memory doing something, not understanding how advertising actually will help them grow their business, probably having very weak sales pipelines in general. Some of our brands actually got rid of their sales teams because they didn't know how to operate them really well. And it's really hard and difficult when that's the case. You get a bunch of leads, you have people that you can send to somebody to sell them, and you got nothing to sell them and nobody to sell them. So anyway, long story short is like, so where does that leave us now? Well, I would say for us, it has now been left in this space of when AI started to become a thing, I started building out the Soulheart operating system. And I was doing it for our internal staff so we could actually ramp up our offerings. We created a marketing clarity framework, and that was what we were delivering to clients. And they just didn't understand it. There was too much information. It was 100 plus pages, just packed chock full of info. And they didn't know how to act on it, or if they did, or we did for them, they didn't understand it. And so there was a lot of disconnect there. But the reality is, it is very good. And then with the other aspect of it is we could then start to train AI on our methodologies. So our strategies, our historical record. In fact, we've run well over $2 million of meta ads. And we were able to like train our AI tools on that specific data, and not take any of like client data or anything like that. Just the actual data that we were able to collect that gave us more information on how we can improve ads overall in our ecosystem, how we can get better as being effective ads and media buyers, actually. And so the cool thing is we built it. And in fact, I've refined it a lot since earlier this year when I first I guess I built it last year, and then earlier this year and kind of refined it a little more. So now we're in this space where I've got a really great, I would call it like growth marketing system. And the beauty is if I can finish out wrapping up building it in such a way where it's not just a thing that I can give you to install in your company and then it grows, but also something that continuously learns and gets better and improves over time. Because as you know, the algorithm changes, the ad platforms change, there's so many different data points and measurements you have to be thinking of constantly. And the beauty of this system, and I've been working at building this, is it will almost be self-healing to a degree. And that's also kind of the concept, maybe the promise of AI, that it gets better over time as these models come out. But it's inevitable. The new model comes out and suddenly we're like, man, this is worse than the old model because I just got used to that old model. And then all of a sudden it's like speaking different and talking different and writing different and coding different, and everything's just all over the place. And this is happening even today. I've got a project I was actually working out on finishing for a client that we were under obligation for in 2025, and it's moved into 2026, quite a ways into it. It's waiting on a lot of regulatory and compliance stuff. And suddenly the AI models that have been building this thing alongside of me freaked out and did all kinds of work that didn't make any sense. And the other day, one published stuff live and I didn't give it approval for. So there's still some nuances, right? There's still things and kinks have to be worked out. But my goal is that you can come into my ecosystem, the world that I've been living, and now I'm just excited to showcase it more to the rest of you. And as part of that, a very good first step entry is joining the newsletter. We're going to have this whole thing be about helping purpose-driven men live their faith, lead their families, build their business. And as you get in that space, many of the people coming in have a lot of ideas, maybe too many ideas, and they've decided they need to turn those ideas into a brand. And they just need help. They need some guidance, some direction, some coaching. Maybe they understand what it is they're building, but they just don't know all the digital stuff that they need in order to build it. They probably understand social media because most people do, but they don't understand SEO inside of social media, or AEO inside of your website, or how to integrate Shopify with your ad ecosystem, or how to just get a website that's powered with AI, very easy to prompt and update, but not needing Squarespace, WordPress, or any other like Wix type platform out there that has this entire weird, funky, old school interface now. And so what do you do with that? How do you make your brand not look like an AI site, but feel like a polished professional website, or creative if that's your thing, or abstract, like whatever it is you're trying to do or sell, a service, a product, does not matter. That is the space that Soulheart is here for. We're going to help you take your ideas and launch a brand. So we've been building a brand launcher. Now, this brand launcher, the concept is not just that you learn the design, the creative, the web, the technology, the integration, things like DNS and hosting and domains and Cloudflare and all kinds of foreign things for a lot of you. And if it's not great, like there's so much there that it's just really hard to keep up with. even down to like, how do you even get an LLC? Where do you get it? What does it mean to have an S corp, a C corp, or an LLC? Taxes an S corp, or a partnership, and all these different variances. I want to help you get the resources that I just have at my disposal all day long, every day, that can get that stuff fired up, get your EIN, get your bank account, get your logo built, get your website built, get everything integrated to forms so you can generate leads, or to, Stripe or payment so you can get sales, Shopify if you have an e-commerce component. And then ultimately, now that you have gotten that thing to the point where you can launch it, well, now you need to grow. And you can grow with your word of mouth. You can grow organically with social media, but you need an amplifier, and an amplifier is ads, paid media. That is the thing that's going to stop the scroll of somebody if you have a really good paid ad, and they're going to click into your thing and see it and look at it, and maybe even give you their email for some bit of information or some type of giveaway, or they're going to get a discount, or you're going to actually just get a sell because they're ready to buy. They were just waiting for you to come along and say, I've got something that you need in your life. It's going to improve it. It could be your life or your business, doesn't matter, but this thing is going to help. And I want to help build that out in such a way that I'm not actually doing it for you. I'm allowing you to come inside of the world and the process and get a very easy to install system that's built and backed with 13 years of data, and I forget how many years. I mean, it's got to be close to a decade of running ads, like actual paid media. So everything from organic to this new world of AI, to the ads themselves, to the creative variances that go into who should you be listening to when it comes to copywriting, to where should buttons be placed, and when should you do an upsell or a downsell or any sell, or just get a lead, or connect a Facebook lead form and just get an email and a phone number or whatever, and get things into spreadsheets or integrated into your CRM. There's so many avenues here. I'm really excited that what we're building in Soulheart is going to give you that operating system that will allow you to grow your business. It's going to actually allow you to do a lot more than that. It's going to allow you to, obviously, like, launch your idea into a brand, but then it's going to allow you to grow that brand and make sure that you're accomplishing all the things that you want to. And if you do this well, it should not just work, but it's going to work really, really quickly. And you're going to be able to see and realize all the potential you've been sitting on for a really long time. If you're an established brand, it still works for you. You can come in and see all the different areas that you need to shore up your processes, and then you can utilize $2 million of paid ads being run, and not just run like in the past, but this is active. We have data up to date, and you're going to be able to access that system, and your ad campaigns are going to filter through and change before you publish them. That's going to tweak it and change it and build it through the lens of $2 million of ads run that have reached hundreds of millions of people all around the world, including international. So when it comes to this space, I'm really excited because for years I've wanted to create this entire thing that we do as a system and just get it out of my head, because so much of our business was like years of just trying to get stuff out of my head, but there weren't enough tools to do that. So I was always like lead strategist, and I was still doing a lot of the work because I loved it. And frankly, I'm very good at it. I've done it for a really long time. But also the way that my brain works is just like having ideas and executing on them, being creative, coming up with new ways to reach people, or to maybe just like tweak a campaign and get better results. And that's exactly what I want for you. So just be knowing that this is something we're in the creation stages for. And honestly, if you're really, really interested and you want to be a part of like that beta test group when we get to the point of launching that for a few select people, just shoot me a reply. Wherever you're watching this video, just put in a reply, like pick me or beta tester, or just tell me exactly like you want to be added and involved, or drop your email in, or send me an email. It doesn't matter. Wherever you're watching this, find a way to get in touch with me if you want to be a part, because my ultimate goal with it is that it's not just something you can use to help you get your things launched and built, but that it's, like I said, going to be self-healing over time. And the more people that use the system, the better the results will get for everybody. So that's kind of my ultimate goal of what we're building inside of the Soulheart equation. So ideally, when you see my content, you'll be able to know that my first and foremost objective is getting in front of a lot of purpose-driven men, people, that are just right there about to launch something, or maybe they have launched, they're just not getting the results they want. And there's so much that can happen. Like, we're going to unpack topics of faith. We're going to unpack, all about family and business, raising kids, just everything in between. You're going to go on adventures. We're golfing, we're hunting, we're, going to the beach, we're traveling the world. I mean, we usually travel about 100 days out of the year. And I would not trade this life for anything, because I've been able to experience so much of the country, been able to take our kids on so many adventures, and we've done life together as a family. And I've also seen our kids as they grow older. Our oldest, got to the point where she launched out and she's independent and successful and entrepreneurial. And that's really exciting for me, because a bright future lies ahead for her. And so I just want to bring you guys into sort of the stillness and the calmness. Like, it's not all adventure all the time. Sometimes you're just sitting in your office, you're thinking about the future, you're working through some of the different problems that you have and the things that you're building, and you just need to talk it out and figure out, like, okay, how is this going to impact the person who's watching this, like yourself? How is this going to help you in such a way that you're going to want to tell everybody, not because it's my thing, but because it works. I've seen it work for so many brands, and it's been sort of this like hidden secret of Soulheart for a really, really long time. And now it's going to be out in the wild very, very soon, is my hope. It is something I have to build and finish the polish on, and then put it into format where all of you can get access to it, and it doesn't just give, the proprietary data that we've built away to everyone for free, but it allows it to filter that through so that it can continuously be learning, keep privacy at the forefront, and then over time, like, the more that you use the system, the better the results are going to be. And I got to tell you, we've actually tested this with one brand, and their results improved almost 300%, if I remember right. I've got to actually put the numbers together. It might be more. No, it is more. It was more. It was, I'm trying to do math in my head. I think it was close to 500 to 600% when we got through the very last campaign on the ad side that we did. So much so that these people decided to drop all of their direct mail pieces. Why they were running direct mail to begin with, who knows? But all of their direct mail pieces and the budget for that, and put it 100% into ads. So that is obviously the hack here. It is paid ads. It is use ads in order to grow your business, but it's the how, it's the filter that's going to give you the extra edge, the better results that you just can't get on your own. Everybody that I've talked to is like, oh, I've tried that and it just didn't work for me. But that's because you didn't have a system that's powering it correctly. Yeah, so thanks again for watching this video. I know it's super dry, but at the end of the day, my goal is to give value, and I just sometimes need to talk it out. I need to talk to you about what the value is that's coming down the pipe, because this is real life. This is actually how brands are built. The nitty gritty, get your hands dirty. Hopefully we'll get some visuals to show you guys soon, because there's a whole lot of power behind that ecosystem coming your way. And until then, this is Josh Brown. Thanks for joining.